Hello, welcome to another Pen Talk. Thanks for tuning in. Today's talk is going to be a little bit different. I'd like to share my experiences from the DC Pen Show, which I went to last weekend. It was the first trip that I've had to the DC Pen Show. I've read from so many people that it's a great show. It's the largest show in the world. I'd been to the Pen Show in Long Island. I've been to the one in Philadelphia, and they were just day trips. So it was a slightly considerably different experience. The Washington DC Pen Show, I went down Thursday, so I spent 3 nights there, and the hotel and the show were in the same building, so it was very easy to go from one to another, which I really enjoyed. So when I bought some heavy books, I could take them up to my room and not have to carry them around in my backpack. So that was nice. I had a nice bucket list when I went to the show, and I was able to finish everything on the bucket list, and I added a ton more to it. So let's dive right in here. So you might recognize the Nook case. I love the green color, the yellow. I met Brad and Jeff, the co-founders of Nook. Beautiful guys. I mean, excellent people. Love talking about their business models, the whole thing with Kickstarter. So that was an unexpected pleasure, and I really appreciate it. And I hope to stay in touch with Brad and Jeff and continue to share our pen experiences and add to them. The other bucket list item that I had was Sheaffer Wasp pens. I bought one at the Philly show. I love the design. This is called Circuit Board. So the pen on the right is a button fill, and I got that from a table. The gentleman just had an unbelievable amount of vintage parts and pens, and they were in bins, and they were all reasonably priced. So that was my first acquisition. And Saturday I went to the PCA auction where they were auctioning off some pens from a gentleman who donated them to be auctioned off. So this was as you can see, it was the second item in the auction. I got to look at it before the auction, and I'm very happy it was early in the auction because there wasn't a lot of exciting bidding going on, so I was able to get them for the price I wanted and add them, and they're pretty much mint, so that's nice. So I may be doing a video on the Wasp collection. I now have 4 of them, and I'm hoping to add to that. Let's just go up here a little bit. These are 2 pens I bought from the same gentleman I bought the button filler Wasp from. These are parts pens. They don't have nibs. Some of them don't have sections and feeds, but I have nibs, I have feeds, I have parts. So, and I love the Conklin striped model, so that was $5. And the Sheaffer was also $5. I just have a few Sheaffer nibs that I wanted to play around with, so I figured I'd get a nice pen for them to fit into. And now we go down here to another pen that I didn't expect to purchase, but it has a very, very good story behind it. This is a Parker 45, and the reason why I have it in my position now, it has this oblique nib. And it's an oblique left nib, and it is absolutely beautiful. It is perfect for the way I write. Let's see if we can look at this close up. It's certainly a nib I've never seen on a Parker 40. I mean, that is absolutely beautiful, and that story continues on with another adventure that I did at the Pen Show, which again was on my bucket list. So this is from Susan Worth. If you ever go to a pen show, please look her up. And she inks all of her pens that she sells, and all of them are writing experiences, and that's how she approaches it, and I think it's perfect. And she has a million stories, and Friday night she held court in the hallway, and that's how I ended up with the pen, and that'll be a continuing relationship with her. The other thing I was looking for were different inks that I haven't tried, and I have not seen these J. Orban sample bottles. They were $4 a piece at Vanessa Ink, so I picked up 3 that I wanted to try, and I hope to start doing some ink videos, but we'll see if that happens. And when Brad was working at the table with Vanessa Inks, and I saw his pen attic reviews on these pens, these inks, and I picked them up, $8 for 50 milliliters, so it's a great price. The colors are great, nice saturation, so I'm looking forward to using those. I think Incasol right now looks like it could be one of my top 5 inks that I use. And also another ink I wanted is I don't have any Ackerman ink, so this was also at Vanessa Inks. They have a great ink sampling table with hundreds of inks, so you can spend as much time as you want, and that table is open 24 hours a day for the life of the show. So you can test out the inks and then go buy a bottle, and you now know what it works like. This is a card I picked up from a gentleman. Again, one of the things that I didn't expect to do. I have a lot of Waterman 100-year pens, and they have a tendency to lose that little clear acrylic at the end of the barrel. He can repair them. So hopefully we'll get together at the Boston Pen Show at the end of September and do some horse trading and see if I can get some of my 100-year pens in full functional working order. Now we're going to go on to, before I get to the primary thing, we're going to take a look at, this is an Inkwell, one that I've never seen before, and the price on this one was $0. The gentleman had a table of stuff that was free to anybody who wanted it. Apparently you put this in and invert the ink bottle in here, and then you use your dip pen. I think it's a phenomenal design. It appears to be made of Bakelite, and I think it's great. So this is my Waterman Inkview 54. I think it's 84. Sorry, I'd have to look at it. Ron Zorn repaired this for me. I love the nib on it. Really, really nice lot of flex. A lot of large ink supply, which is good. And this has the bladder up here in the top. Interesting lever fill. Maybe we'll do a review on that one. This is my Legacy 2 Sheaffer, which I bought at my first pen show in Long Island. Sadly, it had an accident and the nib got bent, and it was a beautiful 18 karat nib, one of the best Sheaffer nibs I've ever written with. I got that repaired at the show. These next two I took to Mike at work, Mike Masiamo. And it was the last thing I did on Sunday before I hit the road to drive back home. I'm really, really glad I had an opportunity for Mike to work on these pens. The nib is a 22 karat nib in this Platinum President, and the nib had got sprung. I didn't do it, at least I don't think I did, but I don't think anybody else wrote with it. But he made it work great, and it is one of the most smoothest nibs I've ever used. Some of you may recognize the Delta Zen. This has had a 14 karat broad nib. When I love the oblique nib on the Parker, I gave that to Mike as a sample, and I asked him if he could make a grind on this nib that was similar, and he calls it a left oblique. And it is this pen now has character in the writing, a lot of variation without a lot of effort. So I really love what he did. I'm really glad I had a chance. In every pen show I have, I'm certainly going to try to find his table, which is unmarked. Now that I know what he looks like and what the table looks like, I'm going to try to find it early in the pen show and sign up, because he gets filled up very, very quickly, just like Ron Zorn does. All those people that are known for what they do. So we're going to move over here to another acquisition. I love pen books, and I love adding to my collection, and these two books are books that I do not have, and they were very inexpensive. The Sheaffer book I got from Pendemonium. They drove in from Arizona. I love Pendemonium. They get great emails. I bought a number of different things from them, all very well priced, very realistic and affordable pricing. And this is that Parker Vacuumatic book. It was in plastic. You know, it has a little bit of wear to it, but it's basically mint. And this, I got this for almost 1/3 the price that Amazon's trying to sell it for. So I'm really happy about both of these acquisitions. And now let me go to, last but not least, another one of my bucket list items is I wanted an Edison pen, and I wanted to buy it from Brian Gray. So obviously I need to go to a show and spend time with him. So I looked at the hundreds of pens that he had laid out there. This one caught my eye, and it is absolutely beautiful. He tried to talk me out of the 18 karat gold nib, but I just love gold nibs, so I got it, and I'm not disappointed. This is phenomenal acrylic here. He calls it orange, green, yellow swirl or whatever. I call it jungle jazz, and he was thinking about maybe using that name for future pens that he might make from this material. I will definitely do a full review video on this one later on, but this is just a little taste. So hopefully you've enjoyed this little view of what I collected from the pen show. I just had a phenomenal time. It was nonstop, met tons of people, great friends, had great conversations, and probably half of them were about pens and the other half were about life in general. So it just reinvigorated me to the community and to the people that are in it. So we'll follow up with one last thing. I now am a member of the Pen Collectors of America. They had these two, they have a quarterly publication, I think, very nicely done, excellent articles, very unique articles, very different articles. So I joined for 3 years. And when the sponsor gets credit for joining you, and they have little prizes, so I thought that was good. And I wanted access to the library materials. Like I said, I love materials about pens. I have a lot of vintage, so the more I can learn about them, the best. So please leave your comments. I ran into one of my YouTube viewers there, much to my surprise. He recognized my voice. So hopefully you enjoy my voice, you enjoy this little overview of things from the Washington, D.C. Super Show. And like I said, the venue was beautiful, the hotel was nice, the rates were good, the area was nice, a lot of nice kind of niche-y kind of takeout type restaurants. So it was very affordable to eat there. A lot of, whatever your cuisine is, you could probably find something. So my suggestion, pen show near you, go to it. Explore it. Go with an open mind. It's a little bit intimidating, the first one I went to, because there are people there that are just into pens that sometimes it's scary, but usually you can find an area conversation, you can learn from them. I talked to a gentleman about my Conklin, which is the one I did a review on, which looks similar to this. And it has a glider nib to it, and I've been searching eBay for more glider nibs. And when he looked at the pen, he basically said that was a Franken pen, probably from the factory. Towards the latter part, Conklin was just putting pens together with whichever parts they found, and he felt that that nib was more typically found on their pump filler. The name escapes me right now. So he was a wealth of information. I looked at some of the pens he had. They were not something I was at the time interested in adding to my collection, but certainly I enjoyed the conversation I had with him, and that's one of the joys of the pen show. You don't have to spend any money. You'll meet great people, great conversations, make new friends, and hopefully increase your love of pens, broaden your interest in pens to maybe other areas that you have not explored, and meet some great people. So happy pen hunting, happy pen writing, and may everything you do with pens be great and enjoyable and continue to bring pleasure to your life. Ciao.